Come on, Annie. Let's go to the movies.
This is the Cinereelists, episode 720. My name is Kyle.
My name is James.
And we're here to talk movie lists, movie obsession, movies? What? What's the intro, James?
Movie list, movie obsession.
We're here to talk movies, movie lists, and movie obsession for the next hour or so. James, you think after me doing this for like 200 episodes plus, I would have it down?
You've been doing this for like 5 years, Kyle.
Really? It's been 5 years I've been doing that intro?
5 years.
Well, you know, we're missing someone today, so I was thrown off.
Yeah. You're all discombobulated.
Yes, please recombobulate me.
Where do you think that came from, that phrase or that word? Discombobulate? Is that a real word or is that a made up?
No, it's a real word, because when you go, well, see, I'm not sure what combobulation is, because like at the airport, after you go through TSA, they usually have a sign that says recombobulation area. If you like look up
Really?
where like the benches are. Oh yeah. Yeah. Next time you're at the airport, I don't know about Orlando, but I've definitely been through airports like Milwaukee, for example. You go through TSA, then they have like the couple benches and it says recombobulation area.
And that's where you put your belt back on and your shoes.
Well, I mean, if you're not flying pre-check, you got to do that stuff.
Sure. I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what that spot's for.
Yes, correct. That's where you recombobulate yourself and put all your things back together.
Right. Although the last time I flew, which was not that long, it was to Michigan when we were there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to take my shoe or my belt off.
Do you have pre-check or do you have regular?
Normal.
Did you go through a metal detector or was it the body scanner?
It was a body scanner thing.
Okay.
But like I showed him the belt.
Yeah.
And he made me like flip it over and that was it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if the body scanner can tell like big metal pieces or what. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe they know it's a belt, or I don't know. There's some way maybe they can talk to the person who's looking at the image.
Yeah. And that was like pre government shutdown. So
sure. Oh yeah.
I don't want to blame it on them being too busy or whatever else. Yeah. I feel so bad for those people. This is the third time this year that their paychecks have been late.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. Not let's not too political. It's unfortunate that like regular working people are political pawns in a much bigger game.
For sure. Like
whenever there's a government shutdown, Congress, they get paid, senators get paid, president can use his limos. It's really who are the easiest people to pick on. They're the ones who are affected by government shutdowns.
Yeah. What we need is, I mean, the people that pass the laws would have to do this, which means it'll never happen. But they need to write it into law that if you have a government shutdown, you don't get paid either.
You don't get paid. You don't get your security details, like all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or say if it's a shutdown, then shut it down. No TSA.
Right.
And people will really quick be like, okay, we got to open something back up here.
Right. We got to figure this out.
Yeah.
We should really run for office, Kyle.
Yeah. It's so.
Who's the president? Who's the vice president?
I think I'd be president. Let's be honest.
Okay. I'll be vice president.
You could be, but
I'd be happy being vice president for sure. Way less pressure.
You're just waiting for me to die. That's all.
Yeah.
But if you were my vice president, I would like make you active. You would be like a Joe Biden. I'd be giving you things to do.
Good luck.
You're not gonna be a JD Vance. You're not gonna just be like, yes, sir. No, sir. I mean, yes, sir.
Oh, I would totally be doing that.
You'd be a bootlicker?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
You kind of have to be even to get into that position, right? For the most part. Some less than others, but on some level, even Biden, when he was with Obama, did a little bootlicking for that position.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. But let's be honest here. Zach would be chief of staff, and that's where the real power is.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's all the behind the scenes stuff. The chief of staff, they're running the show. They're set up the meetings. They're telling you who to talk to.
Sure.
You watched West Wing, right?
I'd put Zach in charge of agriculture or something.
Oh, really? No, at least transportation.
I don't know. I don't know where I'd put Zach. I don't know enough about all the positions for sure.
You'd be our ambassador to the UN.
Sure.
That's right.
Yeah. Or Guatemala. Send him to Guatemala.
No. Oh, I think it's a Guam. Like I want the cushy one. Like I want to be ambassador to Fiji or something like that.
Or the UK. Can you imagine being ambassador to the UK? Come on. Nobody needs an ambassador to the UK.
I mean, for official, you know what? You need the ambassador when one of your cabinet members drives on the wrong side of the road and kills a person.
I guess
that's when ambassadors come in to say, "Hey, they got immunity. It's fine."
Silly, waste of money.
We love the UK. We're just not sure about the ambassadorship of it all.
Sure. Well, that's on the US side. We don't need an ambassador. Is there somebody from the UK here that's the UK ambassador here?
Yeah, I think there's most countries have a two-way street.
Well, we need to get him out of here. We don't need him.
Just kick him out.
We're very friendly with the UK. I mean, there's no reason to have an ambassador. Maybe that's why we're friendly with him. I don't know.
Because we have close ties. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Kyle, good stuff. Welcome to episode 720 of the Cinereelists podcast. If you're a longtime listener, you might note there's a voice missing on this episode. And that's because there's a voice missing in general. Zach is not here because he lost his voice.
Yep. He suffered through the day, got his real work done, and they came around for the fun stuff. He's like, nope, can't do it.
Yep. Which is a first. I don't think any of us have bowed out due to lost voice. I don't think so. I can't remember any time.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So we wish his voice well. Hopefully it's not getting sick, because that's normally what precedes me getting sick. So my voice goes out. Yeah. So I'm not trying to jinx it for him, but
God, I hope he doesn't have COVID.
I hope not too, because I watched the Oscars with him, and that was only 2 nights ago. So
then you whatever he has, you're getting
for sure. I sat on a couch with him for like 3 hours plus.
Was it maybe 3 hours and 28 minutes or so?
I don't know. Was that how long the ceremony was this year?
Maybe 3:35. I don't know how long it actually was.
I don't know how long it
up.
was either. I will say, didn't feel very long this year, comparatively.
3 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay. See, now that you said the number, it doesn't seem like it's like miles shorter than it has been in recent years, but it didn't feel long. That's for sure. Compared to other years where I felt like it never ended.
I don't think too many segments felt like they dragged on. Like usually, and there's an exception. I think we can talk about that because there were some segments, but usually there's just like skits and banter. You're like, this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this time around, they overall had less of that, but not 100%. There was some.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of the Oscars, we're going to talk a bunch about the Oscars and what went down just 2 nights ago. But before we jump into that, we need to remind everybody there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Go check it out there. Search Cinereelists, subscribe, and watch while you listen. You could also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Cinereelists, REEL with an S on the end. You could leave us an Apple Podcast review, 5 stars only. We'd appreciate that. Or send us an email to heyguys@cinereelists.com with a comment, question, list suggestion, movie suggestion, any of those kinds of things. Send it to us via email, and we will likely discuss it on a future episode of the podcast. There are links in the description of this episode to do any and all those things. You ready to talk Oscars, Kyle?
I'm ready to talk Oscars.
Okay. Overall impressions. What'd you think about it? Were there any highlights, lowlights?
Of the ceremony?
Yeah, just in general.
I think Conan O'Brien did a nice job, as always. I realized with the exception of his opening sketch, which I thought was great, where he was playing Aunt Gladys from Weapons and kind of running through the different Oscar-nominated movies being chased by the kids. I thought that was super funny. watching with my son. He was like, "What's happening? Who's that character? What's going on here?" Because he hasn't seen any of these movies whatsoever.
Sure.
So I was just like, you know what? Just watch it and get context clues. Maybe you can figure out what's going on. But besides kind of his opening, like there was not a lot of him in the ceremony.
Not a lot of Conan.
Yeah,
it did feel Conan light in a way.
Right.
I agree. It also felt like, I love Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, same here.
Probably short of David Letterman, which is who I really grew up on. Like Conan I came to later. I really liked his short-lived Tonight Show stint, and have listened to his podcast. So I'm a Conan fan for sure. But man, it kind of felt like he was struggling, to be honest.
How so? Really?
It just, or maybe he wasn't struggling. Maybe I was struggling to find what he was saying funny often. The opening canned skits, the opening and the closing one were very funny. Right. I liked those. There were certain jokes. The Netflix joke in the opening monologue is like the only one I can even remember. And that one was great, where he ribbed Ted Sarandon or whatever his name is, Sarandos, for like having never been in a theater, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
That was good.
He also had his joke about how the UK holds their pedophiles accountable.
Yes. That I guess is a joke, technically.
Technically, it was a joke, but
technically that's a joke. It just makes me sad every time I hear it as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he had shining moments for some reason, and it might just be like the opposite of recency bias. I don't know. Feels like it was funnier last year, but again, maybe that's just maybe by next year if he does it again, I'll feel like this year was better than 2027 or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
If you think about Conan's comedy, especially what he was doing like in the 90s on, was it the Late Late Show that he was hosting, or Late Night? What was his show called?
That's a good question. I think it was Late Show.
I think it was Late Late Show.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a weird show.
Yes. I mean, it was at a time of night that like only college kids were watching. Basically.
Right. It was like after midnight or something. If you're on the East Coast,
it started airing at 12:30.
Right.
On the East Coast.
He was doing weird stuff. He had strange characters. It was definitely random. It was speaking to a younger crowd.
He used to have a bear that would just come on screen and do naughty things.
Yes, he did. And wasn't Triumph the Insult Dog also came from Conan, right?
From
amongst
that.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously he's remained relevant, but I don't know if like that style is something that translates to mainstream awards show. And like, you know, he can't bring on a bear that's gonna do inappropriate things on the Oscars.
I think that's maybe the issue. Is my favorite parts of Conan O'Brien in general is like him man on streeting type of stuff, or like skits or that type of thing. And that is not stand up and look in the camera monologue Conan.
No.
And felt like there was a lot of that this year.
Right.
Maybe I'm just picking on that. I don't know. It's probably just as much as last year, but yeah. But it felt like anytime they canned something in advance, it worked for me.
What other moments worked for you?
I liked the song and dance at the end of the monologue. That was good. The extended in memoriam I thought was good.
That was great. Yeah. I like it. It really felt like they gave everyone their moment. You know, like some people had a full frame. Some people were side by side if they were kind of like a little less known. It wasn't, you know, at no point did they just like list a bunch of names like they did that one year. Remember at the very end? I can't remember what it was. And they're just like, oh, by the way, here's some other people that died.
Yeah.
And then with it being what felt like, you know, for celebrities, a lot of big names passed away this year.
Yeah.
To give a chance to highlight some of those.
Some I don't even remember it happening, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just too preoccupied with other things in the news these days or what, but I knew that all of those people passed away. I just hadn't fully, other than Rob Reiner, hadn't fully absorbed like, oh, that's a big deal.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. And obviously his is even more tragic, his passing. So
yeah. I'm really glad they kind of carved out a little bit for him and a little bit for some other people. And I liked the slideshow being a part of it, but also having like humans come out over the course and just kind of like push it along. I think if they hadn't had that, it would have felt like a little bit of a slog, but having people come out who are related to those people in one way or another and kind of give like a little 30-second eulogy type of thing.
Right.
That was cool.
Well, and it seems like they did 3 people for eulogies. They did Rob Reiner, who died tragically. They did Catherine O'Hara, who died unexpectedly, and then Robert Redford.
They did Diane Lane too. Diane, no.
Did Diane Lane have? I don't know. Did she have a little eulogy also?
I don't remember.
Robert Redford had a huge impact on Hollywood and on the Sundance, and was a huge star. So like, even though his passing wasn't unexpected or untimely, he deserved a little bit of air also, which he got from Barbra Streisand.
Absolutely. You want to hear some people that weren't in it?
I know the guy from Revenge of the Nerds was out in it.
Oh, who's that? Do you remember his name?
Like, is it David Carradine? But it's not David Carradine. It's something like that.
I don't know, but it looks like James Vanderbeek, Dawson himself.
Oh.
Remember he passed away of cancer this year.
Yeah, very recently too.
Yeah, Bridget Bardot.
Oh yeah, okay. That seems like a more major one.
And Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show. He played Theo in The Cosby Show.
So, not that I'm the one who makes these in memoriams, but this is the Academy, which is movies.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jamal Warner, TV star, like
definitely more of a TV star, which is probably why James Vanderbeek wasn't. He certainly was in a few movies.
Yes.
Maybe even more than a few, probably 20 movies over the course of his career. But people don't know him for that. They know him for being.
They know him from TV. So, yeah. So, like those two, yeah, it'd be nice to see him up there. I understand why they're not up there. Brigitte Bardot, that seems like a little bit of an oversight, but I'm not sure why.
Wasn't she like the 50-foot woman or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. What about when Rachel dies from Friends? I'm forgetting the actress's name.
Jennifer Aniston?
When Jennifer Aniston dies,
I think
more of a TV star, or do you think they'll put her on the big screen?
I mean, she definitely crossed over into movies. I think she's still now known more for TV because she's doing like the Apple TV show. But I mean, she had a pretty solid, almost 20-year movie career.
Right. What about Seinfeld?
Oh, I mean, the B movie. People love it.
I mean, he hasn't been in that many movies, but that guy is like a Hollywood guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he mingles with the movie stars, not the TV stars.
Sure.
Pretty much.
He might be in it. I don't know if he'll get a eulogy, but he might be in it.
Speaking of people who could host, like why aren't they paying Seinfeld to host? They probably tried and he doesn't want to do it.
I don't think he wants to do it.
Yeah. Seems pretty
I get the impression that Jerry Seinfeld is like, what's the minimum I can do? Like he's so rich.
He's so rich, but then at the same time, he's driving around in cars with comedians and making content, and he seems to keep himself busy. You think that's just a hobby for him?
I mean, right. He like some classic car dealer says, hey, here's a car. He gets to hop in a car with a buddy and they have a conversation I mean, it's a higher level of what you and I do with Zach.
Right. Yeah. The other person that we were forgetting that got a little bit of an extended section in the in memoriam was Diane Keaton.
Oh, Diane Keaton. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel McAdams kind of did her little mini eulogy.
Oh, wait. Then who did Catherine O'Hara's?
That's a good question. So,
I thought Rachel McAdams did
Barbra Streisand did Redford. Kiefer Sutherland did somebody, and Meg Ryan did somebody.
No, are you looking at AI?
No, I'm looking at variety.com.
Kiefer Sutherland and Meg Ryan were not on stage during those eulogies.
Numerous stars appeared to pay tribute to Reiner, from Kiefer Sutherland to Meg Ryan.
Oh, no, that's because they had like a whole bunch of his
people from
who
movies.
started his movies came on stage. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not saying.
Okay, that's fine. I don't remember who did which eulogy. I remember the first one and the last one, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a very tasteful way of handling the in memoriam compared to things we've seen in the past. I also really appreciated, and this is a pet peeve of mine, and they didn't do it this year.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in younger people to give away the Best Picture Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Because for several years we trotted out like, who's the oldest person we can find who can still walk and talk.
Barely.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, obviously the whole Moonlight La La Land thing was not Warren Beatty and I can't think of her name right now.
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, it was not their fault. But Al Pacino last year with his whole shtick, and then this year they had, I forgot already who they had, but it was not old people.
It was Faye Dunaway was the La La Land.
That's right. It was Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. Yep. Thank you. So,
no, I mean, I agree, or at least mix it up. It felt like we had a decade of old people for some reason.
Yeah.
There was probably a few young people mixed in there, but felt like.
Well, like even last year, didn't they have like Liza Minnelli come off Lady Gaga?
Probably.
And you're like, and Liza Minnelli you felt like she was just wheeled out there. Like,
that is a very normal. It's a very normal Oscars thing to do. Maybe not on the Best Picture announcement, but to wheel out somebody over the course that you haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Just, hey, they're still alive.
Just maybe don't have them read the envelope at the end.
Right. Yep.
But I do kind of like the idea of like honoring somebody in that way, especially if they never won an award. But they're like, knocking on the door, so to speak. So give them a chance on the stage. They get to announce somebody else winning the biggest prize of the night.
I do believe Liza Minnelli has EGOT though.
Okay, so maybe she doesn't apply.
So it doesn't apply. But I see what you're saying though. You're right.
I also really liked like Jessie Buckley and Michael B. Jordan's acceptance speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two big acting prizes. Both those people that won, definitely younger actors and somewhat towards the beginning to middle of their careers type of thing, and their speeches just felt very heartfelt and genuine, and that's not always the case with these things. Like even what's his name from last year, Adrian
Brody.
Adrian Brody, something like that. His was fine. It was just so up his own butt last year, I felt.
And it was long too.
It was long, and he was like lecturing people on art and what art is and stuff like that. And it just, when people talk about Hollywood being pretentious, that is a shining example, I would say, that somebody could point to. Whereas with Jessie Buckley and Michael B. Jordan, those are just their speeches anyway made them feel really approachable and normal.
Yes,
not
agreed.
A Hollywood weirdo.
No, right. Like, oh, these are people who work hard, who are ecstatic to be up here. Maybe they weren't even expected to be up there. Who knows? But
right. And Michael B. Jordan specifically, his speech sounded like a guy who really understood his place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he was just like, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it. You guys have noticed it. I'm going to keep going, and hopefully I'll make you guys proud, type of thing. And that's, I've never seen somebody thank the audience in that way.
Right.
And it was good. And Jessie Buckley was just like just a normal, anytime I watched like a bunch of pre-interviews, like round tables with people, during the awards season. And anytime she spoke at anything, she just seems like a very normal person, which you'd think would be not a special attribute, but then you hear some of the other people on this panel speak, and you're like, no, this is not normal for Hollywood,
right? Yeah,
I would say.
Well, and Michael B. Jordan is he started working since he's been a child, like at least a teenager.
He has every right to be an arrogant jerk.
Oh, 100%. Like I feel like I've watched that guy grow up because I watched him like The Wire 25 years ago.
For sure.
And now here's winning an Oscar. And like, yeah, you could be an asshole, but
right. He's kind of earned that. And yet he doesn't.
No, he's super down to earth. And he's just like,
yeah,
here we go. And because if Chalamet was up there, he would have been like, I've worked. Oh man, it's all come to this. This is the culmination. I'm like, just punch him. Someone punch him.
Yeah. He could have said the exact same words that Michael B. Jordan said. It's just it would come out as arrogant.
No one would believe you.
Exactly. So, okay. Anything else you liked before we start complaining about what we didn't like?
This is I guess this will be a transition. This is a complaint and a like.
Okay.
I always hate when they cut off people who are accepting their awards.
Oh yeah.
Especially like these smaller awards where they often have like more people up there, and like this might be their only chance to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a couple people who like kept talking. Like the music played, and they're like, "No, you keep talking." And like a couple times the music actually stopped and like let them continue their speeches. And I was like, "Yes, like don't I still understand the cutting off of people. Like you want to shorten the show." Don't have the cast of Bridesmaids do an unfunny sketch for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like that Bridesmaids thing was brutal.
It was so hard to watch. Like it wasn't funny.
Yes,
it was just like, oh man, it come on forever. I was like, I could be hearing best animated short give their Oscar speeches right now. Well, the only time they'll probably ever be up there.
There's a reason why people don't do like team stand up.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You can't have 5 people up there, each with their own equal joke, and expect it to go on. It doesn't even work with 2 people at these award ceremonies for the most part. Very rarely do you get 2 people up at the podium and they're legitimately funny together. You have to have like a Will Ferrell with somebody else or something like that. You have to have somebody who's really good at it. But you get 5 ladies that we haven't seen together for 20 years up there, and they all got to tell their portion of a joke, and it went on way too long and wasn't as interesting as I think they thought it was.
No, not at all.
And there were a couple times over the course of the show where I was like, did they not practice this or something? Even like the audio itself, like the tech team behind the audio, it's like the biggest live show of the year, short of maybe the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I would say. And you can't get tech guys that like know how to turn microphones on and off, like with the right timing and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just the whole production this year felt a little slapdash, I guess is the word.
For sure. Like definitely in that Bridesmaids segment, some of them would start talking and like the microphone kick in a couple seconds later.
Yeah.
You're like, why is it just not turned on? I mean, again, I'm not a tech guy. I don't understand it at all, but
right.
And it seems like they walk on stage, you turn on their mic.
And the moving up and down of the mic while people are talking was very distracting. You should move it and then, like when they're not talking or whatever. I don't know when you should move it, but it was distracting when it was moving around. And to your point about cutting people off, pretty much anybody who tried to power through it, they gave in and let them finish their thought, except for the guy who couldn't speak English. That dude from K-pop Demon Hunter, they chopped hard, cut off the mic and went to commercial on him. And I was like, man, for an industry that's really concerned with how they look to the rest of the public, it's interesting that the only one that got a hard cutoff was the non-English speaker.
Right. The guy who like just wanted to try and get his thank yous out.
He had his note card. He was ready to go and they just turned it off on him. I was not impressed by that for sure.
Something else. I mean, we had a little bit of a group check on Discord with the 3 of us plus some listeners, and something else that a listener pointed out, which I've seen other people point out too. And this with K-pop Demon Hunters, like K-pop Demon Hunters was probably your best chance of getting like non-cinephiles to watch the Oscars.
100%. Yeah.
And at least for me, I never saw any advertisement that like, and K-pop Demon Hunters will be performing. And they put it, when they did perform, it was so late in the show.
Yeah.
Like my son was still up, but I'm sure most kids were.
It was like 9:30, 10 p.m. right by the time. Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is like, here is your chance where there is a mainstream movie that's up for an Oscar nominations. Lean in hard to that.
Yeah, do that at like 8:30, right before the kids hit bed.
Right, yeah. And like, talk about it coming up, K-pop Demon Hunters. You can do it the promos for everything else, but make sure everyone knows they can hear that song.
Yeah. Or if you were really clever about it, make it a joke. Like every opportunity you can, talk about how K-pop Demon Hunters is about to be on the stage or something like that.
Right. It's coming up next.
Have Conan make jokes about needing younger viewers and and then have him repeat the fact that I don't know, just something. I think you could build it in where you're like constantly saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't think about that, but I agree.
I had something weird going into this, maybe because like I liked Sinners better than One Battle After Another, which I still think is a great movie. Like I just preferred one over the other. As I was watching it, for like in my mind, One Battle After Another started becoming like the enemy. I was like, oh great, they're gonna win again, and it because like maybe just because it seemed like the ordained movie to win everything.
Sure.
So
yeah, I think all of us, maybe Zach less than you and I, but we weren't middling on One Battle After Another. It's just the problem with One Battle After Another, and maybe I said this during the review, is like I just compare it to everything else that PTA has done, and it just doesn't hold a candle to like his top 3 or 4. And so to me, the idea that that's the movie he's winning awards on while all those others got passed by, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But also I'm one person and not like a giant gelatinous voting body that has shifted quite a bit in the last 20 years.
Right. Yeah.
In demographics. So maybe that's why it doesn't make sense to me. But it feels a little bit like One Battle After Another. This, just my theory, was good enough to give him the award this time. A little bit as a legacy nod.
Like it was right movie, right time.
Yeah, like a movie that enough people enjoyed because There Will Be Blood is a little more challenging.
Yeah, or I mean, I'm not as high on The Master, but I know a lot of people love The Master also.
Master, also a challenging movie. One Battle After Another has challenging moments, but it's so fast-paced, it moves you from one to the other. It lets up, I would say, and is a little less, I don't know. A lot of his movies are not depressing, but just, I don't know what you'd call it. Darker toned, maybe, than One Battle. One Battle comes in and out of that.
Right. I mean, One Battle definitely has its comedic moments and feels lighter at times, even though the subject is not light whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure.
The one award that One Battle won that bothered me the most was the brand new one, casting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other nominees were like Sinners, which had, so many new and unique faces in it. The Secret Agent, where you watch that movie, you're like, these are just real people like off the streets. Mm-hmm. Marty Supreme, which I wouldn't call it stunt casting, but like the fact they had like Fran Drescher in a small role, Penn Jillette, Sandra Bernhard, plus all these other people. Like
they had the dude from Shark Tank in that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like all those movies had such unique faces to them. And One Battle After Another was well casted. It had, but it was all like, besides maybe Tiana Taylor, who I've never seen before in Infinity Chase, it was like all these very well-known faces who were cast well in those roles, but it wasn't like, oh, this is a revelation that this person's in this movie. So to see them win the Oscar, I was just like, it's not a bad cast, but it didn't feel like this casting is giving me completely new people, with the exception of maybe a couple that I was getting from all the other movies that were on that list.
Yeah, it didn't feel like anybody had to dig too hard to come up with Benicio del Toro playing the Spanish guy.
Yeah, right. Hey, I got an idea for a star. Leo DiCaprio. It's like, okay,
I mean, maybe they just gave him the award because PTA finally got Leo in one of his movies.
That's true. That's a possible.
Yeah. I don't know. But I agree. Definitely. Yeah. Also with the audio, I definitely miss more of the song performances And like I know the other 3 movie, like I guess people don't want to hear Train Dreams on stage, but I like the years that they would bring in pop stars to like do a rendition with the original singer or something like that. I thought that was a good formula. They seems like they've ditched that now, and they just do kind of the songs that people like essentially, and just ignore the ones that they don't think are going to win.
Right.
Like I could have seen Train Dreams sung by Nick Cave, and you know what I mean? It would have been cool. I know it would burn 5 minutes of the programming, but I miss that. On the other side, I thought the audio mixing for both performances was pretty much trash.
The K-pop one, because I've heard the song a million times.
It just
I was like, is this the same song? Like I just there's moments where
the Sinners one too. It wasn't the singer's fault. It's the mix.
Yeah,
it's the mix to the home TVs. It just did not. You watch like a Masked Singer or America's Got Talent. Bring those people in. Those people know how to mix a live performance. For some reason, I did not like the audio tech team on this year for one reason or another. And I don't normally even notice those things. It was so bad, I noticed it this year.
Right.
And that's not good.
Do you know who has an amazing mix team?
Who?
Howard Stern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
that's why
any of those...
like the videos of people on his radio show are like bigger than the clips of him talking.
You know right, because they sound so good.
Yeah. For sure. There's another KERP or something like that. There's a YouTube channel that has a bunch of rock bands, mostly like lesser known rock bands that are inside a studio. But if you go to like one of those performances, on every single video, most of the comments are about how great it sounds. Mm-hmm. Like whoever they have mixing in that studio, they need to bring them out to California and give them a week to figure out how to fix the Oscars. Clearly,
mix the Oscars.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else overall that you liked, didn't like, or we could talk ratings?
Well, I will make this is maybe a slight brag, but this is cool for me.
Oh yeah.
So I was in LA a week before the Oscars. Mm-hmm. And we stayed right on Hollywood Boulevard. We actually were across the street from the Dolby Theater. And it was really cool to like walk by the Dolby Theater. They had the road all like blocked off because they were getting ready for the red carpet. But like every day they're setting up a little bit more. I'm like, oh yeah, Oscar's going to be happening right up there. I took some pictures. It is crazy that I didn't realize this. The Dolby Theater is in like an open air mall that has like a Dave and Buster's and a Subway. And so like it looks very glamorous on the Oscars because they pull all these curtains up and like make it look like this nice theater, but it's really just, it's a theater in a mall.
It's a theater in a mall on a dirty street.
Yes. Hollywood Boulevard is not, I never felt unsafe on Hollywood Boulevard, but definitely it feels like Times Square kind of like, it's just kind of dirty. There's a lot of people around, a lot of like, hey, come buy this cheap stuff from, my vending stand.
There's a lot of touristy stuff, a lot of homeless people, a lot of people just hanging out.
Yeah.
Touristy or local.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's not the glitz and glamour of movie stars walking down the road. That's for sure.
No, not at all. and the Walk of Fame is cool, but like, it's just a bunch of names. It's a bunch of stars on the ground with names on them.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I want to go back to LA. I do not need to do Hollywood Boulevard again. I feel like I got that one checked off my list.
Sure. Let's not do it this week, but next week, when Zach's back, I think we should maybe as a check-in, if you could tell us all about the museum. Because I'm very curious
the Academy Museum.
There.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Remind me. That was super cool. So.
Okay. Yeah. I want to hear highlights and lowlights about the museum for sure.
Would love to share.
The ratings this year, Kyle, not good. For sure.
Not shocked by that.
I mean, it's been bad news for the Oscars for quite a while, and it's just getting worse for sure. This year it aired on ABC and Hulu. They were down 9% from last year.
Oh, I almost did a spit take there. Wow.
Yeah, that is not good. Also, when you consider 2 other major awards shows this year, both the Grammys and the Golden Globes, they were also down, but they were only down 6%.
Oh,
so the Oscars not only are falling year to year, but they are falling faster than equivalent awards shows, I would say. industry awards shows. Golden Globes certainly less, but a big awards show. It fell to 17.9 million live viewers, which is the lowest since 2022. Which I believe, wasn't that the year Will Smith slapped somebody?
I think that was the year of the slap.
Yeah. It's crazy that was the lowest year when you consider that had one of the craziest things I've ever seen on live TV.
Yeah, but no one was watching at the time. They all saw it after the fact.
That's true.
So
that's true.
So right, so it did have a little bounce back after the slap, right?
It sounds
after 2022.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds
or
like it.
Maybe we call that the dead cat bounce.
For sure.
Yeah.
As far as the winners go, we don't have to go one by one. I think most people listening to this watched it. But as far as like movies in total, One Battle After Another won 6 of their awards out of the 13 that they were nominated for. Sinners won 4 out of the 16. Now, the 4 they won, 3 of them were like pretty major awards, which is great. Frankenstein won 3. K-pop Demon Hunters won 2. And then you've got Avatar, F1, Hamnet, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, Sentimental Value, and Weapons all had 1. And that's it for, theatrical full run movies.
Yeah, Marty Supreme walked away with nothing.
Marty Supreme had 9 nominations, 0 wins, which is crazy because most people were predicting Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor this year. I'm not going to say Michael B. Jordan was an upset for that award, but he definitely was not. He was in the talk, but a lot of people were like, if you're going to not go with the leader, go with Michael B. Jordan. But probably Timothée Chalamet is going to win.
Didn't
what most people were saying.
Didn't Michael B. Jordan also win the SAG award though, which was a bit of a maybe not upset, but a not predicted either.
It was pretty much the only reason why people weren't short of guaranteeing it was going to be Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah,
I think it was headed that direction until the SAG Awards. So,
right, like I know people want to blame Chalamet losing on the whole opera ballet comment, which was stupid and didn't probably help his public perception.
But voting was closed before he did that.
Exactly right. The fact that you saw Michael B. Jordan win for the SAG-AFTRA is like, ooh. This kind of shows you which way the winds are blowing now, because that's the same voting group more or less.
And to me, that's like I don't know. I think it lessens, maybe unintentionally, but that kind of commentary lessens Michael B. Jordan winning. Like Michael B. Jordan can't win in a fair fight against Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet has to like say something dumb for Michael B. Jordan to win.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it happened. People liked Michael B. Jordan, either his performance or him, better, even before Timothée Chalamet said something stupid in the last moment. So, not that he said something stupid, he just said it in a stupid way, I would say.
Yeah, no,
he's technically correct.
Right, but like, you don't want to be the guy who's like, well, actually, like if you're trying to win hearts and minds, don't be that guy.
I think he was trying to prove a point on why he loves movies so much. And whenever you have to put something down to push something up, you're not executing in the best way you can, for sure. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the clip, correct?
I have, yeah. He said it like 3 or 4 times. It's in past years, and nobody cared. It's just he happened to do it again right for
the Oscars.
Right.
And I really like how Matthew McConaughey's eyes kind of widen as he's saying it, and he's like, yeah. He's trying to cut him off, and Timothée Chalamet just keeps talking. And it's like, dude, he is trying to bail you out right now. You've got to.
Yeah, he was not getting the clue. For sure.
No.
But I mean, they just released Dune 3 posters and Timothy's all over it. He'll be just fine.
No, yeah, he'll be fine. But
right.
It's maybe I don't know. Like, is Timothy gonna become like a Tom Cruise, where he's like, I'm done chasing the Oscar, I'm gonna go do this other thing? I mean, he's still young. He's got plenty of time, but
sure.
Like, it definitely feels like he's chasing the Oscar right now.
I think he felt it with Marty Supreme for sure. I think he thought maybe this could be it, and he's right. It was almost it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but maybe the humble promotion approach when vying for an award might be a little more effective for him.
Yeah, whoever his agent or PR team is, they gotta be like, dude, you just got like, because this is not the first time he said something stupid. Like,
also, like, how old do you think Timothée Chalamet is?
I mean, I know he looks 24. I think he's like 32, isn't he?
I think he's 30.
Okay,
but 30 is old enough. I think like a comment like that is a comment I would think a 24-year-old would make, not a 30.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe somebody needs to just get a hold of him and be like, dude, if you really want to win one of these things, you got to class it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right. Act like you're a 30. Yeah, he's 30. You're correct.
Right.
So
Yeah.
act your age. Yeah.
Yeah. Wins by studio. Warner Brothers won 11 awards this year, which is crazy because last year they won like 1. So they just happened to have a good mix between Sinners and One Battle After Another, both Warner Brothers movies. So they kind of killed it with that. Netflix won 7, which makes them tied with themselves for the most awards that a streamer has won in 1 year.
Okay. And most of those were Frankenstein. I mean, Frankenstein won what, 4 awards?
Yeah, Frankenstein did a good deal of them.
Yeah.
I think maybe some of the shorts too are distributed by Netflix technically.
That could be. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. K-pop Demon Hunters had 2. That's a Netflix thing.
Those are 2 right there. Yeah. So
yeah.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. So they weren't like high profile wins, it didn't feel like, but they're still in the game.
They're still in the game.
Clearly. And 20th Century Studios, Fox, whatever, Apple, Focus Features, Neon, they all had 1. That was it for all the studios. A24 had none this year, which is not normal. Normally they have at least 1 in the mix somewhere. But
did they have any nominations this year? Was Weapons? No, that was not A24, was it?
No. Weapons was Neon, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neon's kind of crazy. Like
Neon
is kind of vying for my heart with A24, I think, at this point.
Neon's feeling like this mid-market hole that we've had for a while.
Yeah. It like if you look at a lot of the foreign films that I liked last year, they're all Neon releases. Mm-hmm. Like No Other Choice. It was Just a Mistake or something like that. Surat.
Mm-hmm.
There's at least one more. Maybe Sentimental Value might be a Neon. I don't remember, but
I don't think that was.
No. There's a lot of them. This year, the Nirvana the band, the movie, the show, the Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. That's a Neon release. Anyway, Parasite was a Neon release.
Yes, correct. Yep.
There's a bunch of them. Like the last 5-6 years, a bunch of Neon stuff that I just didn't notice it was them. And turns out it is. Anyway. Other things that happened, Autumn Durald Arkapow became the first woman and the first Black person to win Best Cinematography. It's never happened before.
I didn't know she was the first Black person. I thought she was the first Black woman. Oh.
She's both the first woman and the first Black person to win.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I thought she was she was the first woman and the first Black woman. I didn't realize she was the first Black person. Wow. Okay.
There's never been a Black male who won cinematography, even though it's always gone to a male.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. I think we've had Spanish, Italian, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. Like Alfonso Cuarón's guy. Yeah.
But no Black Best Cinematographers until now. She's also the 4th ever female nominated.
Yeah.
For cinematography. Like females just never get nominated because I think it's traditionally a male dominated position on the set. Mm-hmm. So excited to get more. I thought the cinematography in Sinners was super interesting considering most genre movies are not known for their cinematography.
Sure. Yeah.
And so to have one that has interesting cinematography, specifically that dance sequence in the middle that they, tried to recreate on the Oscar stage. When we were watching that dance sequence on the Oscar stage, I looked at Zach and I was like, could you imagine having not seen Sinners and watching this? Because they have like all the different performers from all the different generations.
Right. You're like,
you would just be
happening?
like, what is this movie Sinners? Why is there a ballet dancer on the stage right here?
Like why is there indigenous dancing and a funk bass player next to each other?
Right. It just looked, in the context of the movie, I think it worked better than kind of the mix mash on stage. But it was a cool ode at the same time.
The movie has like a narration during that moment that, just in case you don't get it, kind of explains to you what's happening.
Yeah, for sure. Jessie Buckley became the first Irish winner of Best Actress.
Really?
Yeah. Never been an Irish winner.
I have done such a turnaround of Jessie Buckley in the last like 5-6 years.
I'm so glad. Remember, I feel like I've been championing her to you.
You have been. And I kept saying it wasn't her. It was the movies I saw her in.
Mm-hmm.
And like just every time I saw her in a movie, I didn't like the movie. I was like, I don't know if I like this Jessie Buckley person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's
your soul.
Last couple years, and then Hamnet. She was great. I'm like, okay, I'm on the Jessie train.
She's like so good in Hamnet. It's shocking that Chloe Zhao didn't have more representation at the Oscars. You know what I mean? Because there's no way she did that on her own.
Yeah.
An environment was created for her to get that kind of performance. So it's, I think I haven't heard much chatter about snubs this year in general, like even before the awards were given out.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I think in retrospect, Chloe Zhao was kind of snubbed for some kind of director nomination.
Oh yeah, right. To get those performances out. I thought that Hamnet had the best costuming. Like, even though it was a simple period piece,
mm-hmm.
the fact that like Jessie Buckley's character wears this red dress throughout the whole movie,
mm-hmm.
but as her emotional state changes, the dress changes with her. Like, it starts out bright red, it just gets duller and duller. I was like, man, that's such like simple storytelling just through costuming right there.
Yeah.
Like that's
and they were
Oscar
like
worthy.
They were like middle class period appropriate.
Yeah,
I think that's
right.
Hard
It wasn't
to pull
peasant
off.
wear. Yeah.
Or it wasn't like high society. It wasn't flashy. It just kind of felt appropriate. So appropriate I didn't really even think about it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
To me, I think that was one of my biggest disappointments. Like, that movie did not win best costuming. Because did Frankenstein win costuming?
Yeah, probably.
Which is fine. Yeah.
They won most of those kind of like
exactly.
Lower tier creative awards. Lower tier to society, not to me. I like that stuff.
No, right, but I mean, just the creative awards in general.
Yeah. Also, Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor, but didn't show up. I like that moment with Kieran Culkin where he's like, "Oh, he can't be here or didn't want to. Whatever."
Do you know where he is or where he was?
I don't, but it's not.
Oh, I know
totally.
I know where he was.
Where was he?
He was in Ukraine with Zelensky.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because he's a very pro Zelensky Ukraine guy for sure.
Oh, he gave Zelensky one of his other Oscars a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Totally normal for him to not be at these things, though. He was absent as a Best Actor nominee in 1996, in 2002, and in 2006. But he attended in 2004 when he won for Mystic River, and in 2009 when he won for Milk. So I'm wondering if he just waits to see if there's a vibe that he's going to win and then shows up, but miscalculated this time.
I mean, this year seemed like he was an early shoo-in for Best Supporting Actor. Like, that was one of the first ones to lock in. So
feels like that too. And I think probably if he was calculating that way, he probably would have thought, yeah, I should be there. I'll probably win. I'm surprised he didn't. It's great that he's over, in Ukraine and he's doing whatever he's doing over there. But as far as like a shining a spotlight on Ukraine or keeping a spotlight shined on Ukraine, he should have come and accepted the award and then said whatever he wanted on a stage to 17 million people.
That was his platform.
That's probably the best thing he could do for Ukraine right now. Or at least Sunday night, that was the best thing he could have done for Ukraine.
Right.
For sure.
I just imagine he and Zelensky were watching the Oscars and he didn't think he was going to win. And his name was called. He's like, oh man, I screwed up, man. Like, could have been there.
Also last night we had a tie, which was rare.
It was the first time ever, right?
No, not the first time ever.
Okay.
It's happened way more than I thought, for sure. So it was for best live action short. The tie was between The Singers and Two People Exchanging Saliva. It's the 7th time that's happened in the Oscars history. Most recently, it happened in 2012, which I don't remember that happening in 2012. That is definitely in my era of watching the Oscars and paying attention to this. It was for sound editing between Skyfall and Zero Dark 30. 2 great movies.
2 great. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember that whatsoever.
Before that, 1994. Before that, 1986. Before that, 1968. Before that, 1949. And before that, and I think this might have been the first year they did the Oscars, 1931 and 32.
29 was the first year.
Okay, 29 was the first year.
Yeah. Or I think it's 29 or 29, 30, something.
Yeah, because the first couple years were like 2 years together, right?
They would do every other year for the first couple. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I was really impressed by how Kumail Nanjiani handled that.
For sure. I wonder, did they tell him this is going to be a tie? So you should say it this way. So that way we minimize the confusion, or
right. Yeah. Cause right away he was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read one and then the other. I'm like, there's no way he thought that on the spot, or maybe he did, but like that's,
if he did,
do they coach him?
Yeah. Maybe they coach everybody who goes out there to present. They're like, if you open the envelope and you see 2 on there, it's a tie. And this is what you do.
Right.
Maybe, or maybe they knew in advance, hey, it's going to be a tie. We can't tell you who it's going to be until you open the envelope, but we can tell you it's a tie. And so you need to walk people through, I don't know. I can imagine them being able to do that without giving it away.
He was like a teacher at a fire drill. He's like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
It was
going to lay that out. Okay, so who knows? Not many people know the winners, right? And like PricewaterhouseCoopers, they count it all. They send the briefcases up. Like, who in the theater knows the winners? Does anyone know the winners in the theater? Someone's got to know, right?
I feel like we found this out when with the La La Land stuff went down.
Yeah.
That like the Academy president knows, and maybe one other person, and then the
like does a producer know? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember if the producer knows or not. I know they're trying to make sure that if the Price Waterhouse people disappear with the cards, like somebody knows type of thing. So I'm sure it's under lock and key somewhere else as well. But at the same time, the more people you tell, the better the chance somebody's going to accidentally leak it or on purpose leak it. So they try to limit how many people. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good question. Either way, Nanjiani, stellar job handling that situation.
Yes, definitely. I wish he had told his joke up there about. Have you seen a stand-up on Netflix? He released a stand-up special recently.
I've seen clips.
Have you seen the one where he talks about being the only guy who doesn't get compliments for working out?
Oh, yes. And how he kept the body too. And he's like, I don't need this anymore. But
right. That's the best. That's the best bit in his stand-up. It's just like, normally you work out, you start looking good. People start saying, good job. He's like, not with me. I'm the only person that gets more hated the better I look.
Yeah. And he looks good. Like he's buff.
I mean,
I'd built.
I don't want to do the work, but I'd take it if somebody gave it to me.
Oh, no, sure. It's we I don't know if we have the money to do that kind of work.
I don't know. Probably not.
That's like special diets and personal trainers
and lots of chicken and broccoli, I'm sure.
And lots of time. Like you can't be working a regular job.
It's like 4 or 5 hours of working out every day.
Exactly. It's intense.
Okay, let's wrap this up with a little bit of Oscar pool talk. As we have the last couple of years, we ran a pool for the listeners of the podcast, an Oscar pool where they can make their picks alongside us and see how they fare. Zach's friend actually created the website oscarpicks.app. We ran it there again, and the results are in. And we have a winner of the Cinereelists mug, which is what was up for grabs this year and will probably be the same up for grabs next year. The winner was Alan Gilbert, who had a score of
Alan.
Yeah, he had a score of 46 points, which on oscarpicks.app you don't get one. It's not 1 point for every pick. It's like some picks are more important than others. That way, like people who just randomly guess the shorts and the stuff like that don't like just blow everybody away.
Right. Nor do you get penalized for not seeing all the shorts.
Right. So I actually prefer his system to like the 1-for-1 system. So yeah, that's how he ended up with 46. As far as like how many he guessed wrong, he only missed 4, which is pretty impressive. And one of them was, I believe, the Michael B. Jordan win, which was, I think, probably the most up for grabs one. Maybe the documentary as well was a little no. Okay.
Nope.
He got cinematography and documentary wrong. Yeah.
Right. And those, you're right. I think documentary, a lot of people thought Perfect Neighbors was going to win that.
I definitely did.
Yep.
Yeah. Cinematography also, I think I maybe had got wrong as well. Possibly. I don't remember. But we can look here in a second. In second place was Ryan, right behind him at 44. He also missed just 4 in total, but one of the ones he missed was Best Picture.
Oh.
And that is worth 4 points. And so if he had guessed Best Picture right, he definitely would have won by 1 point.
Wow.
Which is crazy because
he would have won by more than 1 point, because then
by 2
Alan
points
would have dropped since.
Oh, you're right. I don't know how many he would have won by, but he definitely would have won.
He would have won, yeah.
Which is crazy because I was looking through everybody else, and I didn't look through everybody, but the ones I was clicking around on, it seemed like everybody picked Best Picture correct except for Ryan. I don't know why. Maybe he was just rolling the dice on that one, hoping for a dark horse or something. But I don't know. He was this close, though. This close.
A bold choice. If you got it right, it would have been a guaranteed win right there.
Yeah.
So
for sure. And in third place was me.
Yeah, nice job, James.
I ended at 43. I missed 5 total picks. Zach had 37. You had 33. What happened? You were doing so good at the beginning, and then it just kind of fell apart. Do you remember when that happened?
Yeah, so I was doing fine, and then documentary that got me.
That got me too. Yeah.
Yep. And then I missed cinematography, I missed international feature, I missed original song, and I missed actor in leading role.
And those are a lot of points.
Those are all
big categories.
Those are 2 or 3 points. So
yeah.
It was something where, I chose incorrectly. And that's okay. I also miss Amy Madigan, costume design. I think even though these were supposed to be my will wins, I think my shoulds were still like creeping in there a little bit.
Sure.
So
yeah.
So I started strong and then just fell apart.
Also, though we make these picks like a week or 2 ahead of the Oscars, whereas like most of the listeners, they're making it like the night before.
Exactly.
They're getting all the information. We had at least one major awards event that wasn't calculated into our numbers.
We don't have SAG in ours whatsoever. No.
Right.
And I didn't feel right changing after I set them on air. I'm like, that's my list. I can't change it.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to say, I technically do have the best ballots of the group.
I saw that. I'm not sure that counts because you didn't make those picks, but
it does not count because those are someone else's picks.
Right.
But in my defense, if I was a listener and had made this ballot the day before, those would have been the picks I would have put in there. So
yeah. The number one is Kyle inputting the Numlock Awards newsletter picks, which is a great newsletter if you like the Oscars. Pretty much only around the Oscars they release 5 to 10 emails over the course of it's like not overwhelming at all, and they're stats nerds, and so it's all just information.
And it's like one a week for 5 to 10 weeks. Yep.
Right. Yeah. It's great. If you haven't checked out Numlock Awards.
Yeah, Numlock, NUMLOCK.
Yeah.
Like Numberlock. Yep.
Right. Check it out and subscribe, and they just leave you alone all year, and then a few months before the Oscars, all of a sudden you get an email. It's great.
And it may be a guaranteed win of a mug also.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been this year if you had just ripped their picks.
Yep.
For sure. I do like, though, before we move on to our movie for this week, I feel like this is my 3rd year in a row beating you guys.
Yeah, I think you show up well for these.
Yeah, this might be the one game I can beat you guys at.
What's your strategy, James? Do you have one?
My strategy generally is to keep my ear to the floor, to the ground, to the grindstone. I don't know how you say it.
That's nose to the grindstone. Keep your ear to the ground. Yeah.
Keep my ear to the ground. Listen to a bunch of people talk about way too much talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then see what different people are saying, like Numlock Awards and others, and then occasionally throw my own opinion in there if I think maybe I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing I can point to this year that I did that for on any of the ones I got right. Like, that's all from like me just hearing people talk about the Oscars and who's probably going to win.
Yep.
Like, I don't think I went out on a branch on any of them. And that shows in like me picking Timothée Chalamet for actor.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Pre-SAG, it was not necessarily a foregone conclusion, but
he was
very
the favorite
minor risk that Michael B. Jordan was going to win until the SAG Awards came out. And then it was like, oh, now it's more 50-50 than anything. Anyway.
If I have one consolation,
sure.
I did guess the runtime on the dot.
Nice. What?
So
you said it already, but what was it again? 3:34?
3 hours and 40. Well, according to the OscarPicks.app, it's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay.
And that was my pick for the tiebreaker. So
nice. I don't even know what I said. Where is that?
You said 3 hours. It's on the far right. It's the last column. You said 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay. So I was off, but not. That would have been real short. I don't know what I was thinking with 3 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, it's always going to be over 3.5 hours. That's just
yeah. It's just whether it'll go into 4 or not is normally the question.
Correct.
Although I think they've designed the show now where like they're never going 4 hours again.
If they got rid of like half the musical performances like they've done.
Yeah, and they cut off all the Spanish speakers when they step up to the mic and stuff like that.
Exactly. You don't speak English, you're done.
Yep. Brutal. So Alan, Mr. Gilbert, send us an email, heyguys@cinereelists.com. Let us know you're the winner, and we will coordinate with you and get you a free mug in the mail.
The aptly named Ballot Supreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Marty didn't win anything, but Alan did. Isn't that crazy? Alan won more at the Oscars than Timothée Chalamet did.
I'm pretty sure Alan's also a fan of ballet and opera. So
probably
karma.
Yes. I'm sure he's a big ballet and opera enthusiast.
Have you seen good ballet or opera before?
Oh, I
you went to
don't
Globe
know
Theater,
if I've seen good any of that, but I have enjoyed every time I've seen it. It's very interesting. I'm not sure I would appreciate it if I had to watch it every week, but I watch it so infrequently. And if I ever watch it, it's almost always live, and everything is better live.
Oh, 100%,
than it is
yes.
watching on TV or in a movie theater or whatever. So I wish I lived or was more plugged into like seeing plays and stuff like that. Because every time I see one, I'm like, I need to do this more often. And then I don't. For some reason.
Live theater is fun. There's
great.
Something about it like, oh, here's actual people. This is their one shot. So like obviously they've rehearsed for it, but there is something kinetic about it, knowing that it's, what they do is what you get. There's no takebacks.
Did you ever watch Ghostlight from last year?
I did not watch Ghostlight. As long as movies are like, it won an Oscar, didn't it?
I think it was nominated.
It was nominated.
I don't think it won. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I should watch that, but it kind of went into the should pile, and the should pile that's a dangerous pile to be in.
When you need like a drama with a feel good ending, and you and Megan, like you could watch it with her for sure.
Okay,
you should check that out. But the bulk of that, or like a good theme of that movie, is this guy being in like a community theater, getting involved with community theater. And I've always thought, like, when I was in school, I did plays and stuff.
Yeah,
I should I should get involved in community theater. And then I think of how much of a time suck that is. And I think it would benefit me and it would be really fun, but I just can't imagine dedicating like 10 hours a week of my life to that right now. I just don't have the time.
Okay, make that a goal down the road.
No.
Get back into it, James.
If I was in a play, would you
come
fly
out
down?
to watch you.
You would fly down to see me in a play?
100%.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Now I don't want to do it.
And now that you know I'm committed to coming to watch you.
I'm just teasing. I do think it would be interesting though, because I always wonder, was I really that good as Willy Wonka in 4th grade?
People still talk about that
my performance.
Your performance of Willy Wonka.
Las Palmas Elementary School in San Clemente, California.
Yeah, it's Gene Wilder, Timothy Chalamet, and James.
Yep, for sure.
They are your Willy Wonkas.
Definitely. All right.
I'm sure you were better than Johnny Depp.
Likely.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Oscars, the 2026 Oscars featuring 2025 movies. Good times. Let's move on to our movie for this week. We're talking a movie that had some nominations this year, and I think won one of them. Is that right?
Yes, it won Best International Feature.
Best International Feature. We're, of course, talking about the film Sentimental Value. We're going to get into it right after this clip.
Han ikke her for å ordne med salget. Jeg trodde jo det, da, men ja, nå har vi sett prosjekt.
Hva sa du?
Nei, det jo en bra ting da, egentlig, men han skal lage film igjen.
Hvilket prosjekt da?
Det det han snakket med deg om.
Min film? Den han skrev til meg?
Ja, den du ikke ville spille i.
Men fikk jeg penger til den?
Ja, han må jo det da. Han sa ikke så mye, jeg tror kanskje han ville si det selv. Han spurte om du kom til å være her.
Okay.
That was Sentimental Value, a 2025 drama directed by Joachim Trier.
Joachim Trier.
Joachim Trier. And starring a bunch of people that I'm not going to try to say their name. And Stellan Skarsgård. Well, Elle Fanning. I can say.
You can say Elle Fanning, yeah.
I can try. Renate Reinsve? Something like
Renat,
that.
close. You were close. Renat.
Yep. Reinsve. And Inga Olb's daughter, Lilius.
Inga Ib's daughter, Lilius.
Oh, I wasn't too far off.
No, not too bad.
The official IMDb plot synopsis for Sentimental Value is an intimate exploration of family, memories, and the reconciliatory power of art. I love these plot synopsises that really aren't a plot synopsis at all. It's just I don't know. It's a stating of the themes, I guess.
Right. It doesn't talk about the plot whatsoever. It's like, this is what it's about.
Right.
But yeah.
So yeah, Sentimental Value, kind of a weird one to be talking about on a post-Oscar show. There's really not much out. We're all kind of looking forward to next week. We get a big budget movie in a movie theater in Project Hail Mary. This, I think I suggested it just because I was pretty sure it was the last one on your Best Picture list that you hadn't seen. Is that correct?
This was the last one. Yeah. Actually, our discussion was this or K-pop Demon Hunters.
Right.
So we settled on this one, right? Because it was the last of the Best Picture nominees, and turned out to be an Oscar winner also. So that worked out well.
Yes, definitely. Even if they lost 3 out of 4, but
I mean, it's hard for international films to win
for sure
best anything in Oscars besides Best International Feature. So
yeah, tell that to Parasite.
Well, that's maybe the exception to the rule.
Sure. There was another one too, right? That wasn't English since then. No, I'm just thinking of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which feels like a foreign language as far as
feels like a
goes.
Foreign film, yeah, because it's so odd. Yeah.
I mean, Coda. I still can't believe. Yeah, Coda was kind of a different language.
Right, it was an ASL. Yeah.
But I still can't believe Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture.
Oh, I was so primed for that to win. I was like, this. I mean, it is the best movie of the year.
Yeah. No.
It has to win.
It definitely deserved
yeah.
it. I think it was the best movie of that year. It's just when people look back at the first 100 years of Oscar wins, that one is going to stand out.
Yes.
I think as unique. Like if the people who were voting on the Oscars in the first 50 years, if you plopped that movie in front of them 48 years ago or 47 years ago, they would be like, what the heck is this? You know what I mean?
There's no way the people who voted for Godfather are going to vote for.
They wouldn't even dream that movie would ever exist.
Exactly. Yeah. Let alone be a Best Picture winner.
Yeah. Anyway, sentimental value. I predict lots of tangents while discussing this movie because there's not a whole lot to discuss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is. I enjoyed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the performances of this movie. I think if there's anything worth watching this movie, it's the whole cast, or at least the four main stars, are all stellar.
Mm-hmm.
They all got nominations, like Stellan Skarsgård,
Mm-hmm.
Renat Rensiv, Elle Fanning, and Inge's daughter Lilias. All were not Oscar nominated, and they all deserved it because I thought all four of them were incredible to watch on screen. But yeah, this is kind of your, I don't want to call it cliche, but sort of your quiet foreign film about like feelings and past drama and, like how art and love collide together. Like it feels very Academy in that sense.
It feels like in the mid 90s, or maybe mid 2000s, this could be a Best Picture winner for sure.
Sure, yes.
This is the kind of like dramatic. I don't know what you'd call it.
I mean, it's a dramatic drama. I'm trying to. That was redundant.
It's a straight drama.
It's a straight drama, and like there's really no highs or lows. Like people have conversations, but there's no like big screaming matches. There's no there's definitely depressing themes,
mm-hmm.
but there's no like gut punch moments to the movie. It's just sort of normal people with their familial demons kind of working through it through art.
Yeah. And I think if it was just that, it probably wouldn't be nominated. I think you add in the idea that like the father in the story is a director of movies.
Correct. Yes.
And give it this little industry spin where he's okay. So for people who don't know much about sentimental value, the plot essentially, as I remember it, Kyle's seen it more recently. In fact, you just tell it because I'm not going to tell it, right?
Yeah. So it follows this family. Stellan Skarsgård is the patriarch. Mm-hmm. And he's this well-known Norwegian director, but definitely on the kind of the tail end of his career,
mm-hmm.
right? He's trying to make one more movie. This movie he's making is very much based upon his life, his relationship with his mother, who died via suicide, as well as his relationship with his daughters, who are also both actors. One is currently a working actor, and one is like more of a child actor who was in some of his earlier films.
Sure.
Yeah. And then it all kind of centers around the family home that's been in this family for generations, where a lot of these past traumatic events happened in this home. And kind of the idea of like who gets this, the house is this metaphor for like the
mm-hmm.
family, who gets the legacy of the family, what does the family look like as time goes by.
Right.
Anything? That's pretty. More or less, that's it. Yeah. So anyway, the Stellan Skarsgård, he wants to make this movie that's very much tied to his familiar experiences. He wants to cast his daughter in the main role, who's the working actress. They don't have a great relationship because he left, when they were young, and he kind of was the dad that would show up as needed. Wasn't
mm-hmm.
the dad who was always there. So instead, he hires Elle Fanning to be in this movie to obviously play his own daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes from there.
Yeah. And you don't get like any of like him on the set directing the movie or like anything like that. It's just like a series of conversations between him and his daughter, or him and the actress, or the actress
the
and
two
his
sisters
daughters, or
talking.
the two sisters. Yeah, it's just like different dynamics of these characters. And at its core is just like a mostly absent father who wasn't necessarily abusive, just not around for the most part, which I guess is a form of abuse maybe. But trying to reconcile with his kids, but at the same time, not sure he actually wants to do the work of that. He just wants it to happen.
He wants to reconcile through the movie.
Right. Because he doesn't really know how to do it any other way.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to talk to, especially his older daughter, who's the actor who's even more estranged from. Like they have conversations, and he was like, "You're so sad. Why don't you have children? Why don't you have a family?" Like he doesn't know how to talk to her about
and these
her
are
feelings.
These are things that your absent father doesn't really have any right to ask you about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So it's a familial relationship drama wrapped around this like very specific but very realistic Hollywood story, I would say, because he's a famous international director, and I think there's a lot of people in the industry who can empathize with the idea that you're not in the same town as your kids for a good deal of the year if you're in this industry. And so I think that is probably what elevated it, among other things, but that's part of what elevated it to where it ended up being on that stage that night. I don't know.
Sure. And I think on top of it being kind of the inside baseball, he's also making this movie for Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
There's a bit of like, here's the aging director, last movie, but it's for the streamer. I mean, that's definitely like a C story in the background, but there's definitely mentionings of like how Netflix is sort of greasing the wheels a little bit for this movie and pushing different directions.
Yeah, because he's I don't know, what would you call it? Like a prestige director. But he's like so prestige that like nobody will give him any money because his movies never make any money.
Exactly. Yeah. There's even a joke. He visits one of his friends' homes, and he's like, "Oh, this is a great house you have here." And he's like, "Yeah, not because of your movies."
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's a perfectly fine movie. I think I wrote this in my Letterboxd review. I had a hard time. I'm not bragging, but I have like a decent relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
Compared to maybe some of what's been communicated to me, some of my friends and other things I've observed. And so I had a hard time relating to some of this. It's well made. I believe these characters. I thought the acting was good. I'm not upset about any of those nominations. There's just not a whole lot to the movie, to me, that like makes it feel more stand out than other things that feel very similar to this.
Yeah, it was a movie that kind of would pull me in then push me away. Like there'd be one scene where they would be sort of talking, they'd be talking about how the mother committed suicide, and there's this whole story behind it, and
you're like, oh, this is going to be a part of this is going to be, woven into the future discussions, and they just kind of like don't really go anywhere with it.
Or he uses that story to convince Elle Fanning to be in the movie. I was like, oh, this is a really interesting scene, like how he's kind of twisting his own twisted history to get this young woman to like sign up for his movie and to be in it. And then there's another scene where it's just like the daughter's talking about how much they don't understand their dad. Right. And you're like, okay, like this is well acted. Like I believe them, but
sure,
I'm not as I think for me, maybe like the movie making part of it was a little bit more interesting than like the emotional drama of the family relationship.
I guarantee you, from my perspective, you remove all the movie stuff, which it's not the same movie at that point, for sure.
Yeah, right.
I admit that. Like the dynamic of like a famous actor playing your daughter, because she won't be in the movie. So you got like one of the most famous actors at the time to play her, essentially, because she turned you down to play the role.
Yeah, because Elle Fanning is kind of playing herself more or less in this movie.
That is by far one of the most interesting dynamics of the movie.
Yes.
And so you remove the movie making part of this, and it just kind of becomes a standard family drama.
Yep.
And then you mix that in, and it definitely becomes more interesting to me as a movie fan. I think if you sat down, the guy who watches basketball all day on Saturday and doesn't really watch movies, to watch Sentimental Value, there ain't no Hollywood angle you could interject into this movie that would make that person overly interested in this. You know what I mean? Like,
no, this is not a mass appeal. I mean, I would say I think people would get more out of Hamnet if they're the basketball person than they would out of this.
For sure. Far more relatable on a base level. More happening, more suggestion of like more to happen in that movie. Like Hamnet gave me like The Witch vibes until it didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When she's like in the forest and there's this hole under the tree and you're like, oh, she's a witch.
Yeah, and you don't know like
communicate with nature.
Right. Yeah. The talk of like being able to predict the future or being told by nature what the future is going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could not tell whether that was actually going to play into the movie or if it was all just folklore in their heads. And so yeah, that movie I think will push you along, whereas Sentimental Value, it's definitely just 4 really good actors repeating lines very well.
Yes.
And there's something to be said for that, for sure. There's a place for it. But it's not flashy. That's for sure. Probably the flashiest, I think it was this movie. Don't they do things with the house where like time passes and you're like seeing the house in the background? Am I thinking of a totally different movie now?
No, I mean, there's definitely flashbacks. So like the house changes depending on what era it is. Like there's a house in the current state, but then there's also like flashbacks to mom and grandma and who else used to live in this house. So
right.
But yeah, no, you don't see like the house. To my memory, I just watched this yesterday. I don't remember the house like aging or anything like that happening.
Sure.
So
I must be thinking of something else.
I mean, it's a movie that opens and it talks about the importance of the house and then shows a crack in the foundation and the crack running all the way up through the drywall. You're like, oh, so the crack in the foundation represents the family. Like, it's just
a little on the nose.
It's a little on the nose here, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. It's directed by the guy who directed Worst Person in the World as well.
Yeah,
and
which
stars.
also has Renat Razov.
Yeah,
whatever her name is. Yep.
And I like that movie better. This is definitely not bad. I did not dislike this movie. I probably reacting more to it being an Oscar nominee than like just what it is on its surface. Because on its surface is fine, maybe even good.
Oh, I would say it's good.
Yeah.
And I would say the performances are great, but
yeah,
for me, like if I was to look, I saw most of the Best Picture nominees this year. And I found Surat and It Was Just an Accident to be much more interesting films.
Agreed.
Even The Secret Agent, which I had my issues with, I felt like just propelled more.
If I was picking one of the foreign language films I saw last year to replace Sentimental Value,
as winner,
no, just as a Best Picture nominee.
Oh, okay. Oh, as a nominee,
or winner of international. Because remember, Sentimental Value was a Best Picture nominee.
Exactly. Yes.
Seems crazy to me.
So is F1 though. So you need
true.
both ends of the spectrum.
That's true. Maybe it's just a both ends of the. I mean, it seems crazy that F1 was too.
That's insane. That movie was a Best Picture nominee.
But when you have to get 9 in there, can we just go back to 5? 9 is dumb.
It doesn't have to be 9. So it was 5, and then they made it
for a long
10. Yeah, it was 5 until like 2008, and then in 2009, 2010 they made it 10, and then at some point they're like, it's 6 to 10. So it doesn't have to be 9. It doesn't. It could be 8.
Yeah.
I don't know why F1 had to be in there.
My understanding is it's like a percentage of votes thing. If you don't get a high enough percentage, you're not included in the 10. But as long as if 8 or 6 or even 5 rule the percentages, then that's the number they're going to go with. And evidently enough people liked Sentimental Value enough and F1 enough to get them in there.
Sentimental Value seems like you said, it seems like an Oscar nominee from 20 years ago. I understand why this movie was a Best Picture nominee, just because of like the crowd that's still voting. F1, I still don't know why it was not a bad movie, but
I think just because it's a crowd pleaser. And so I think it's the Top Gun Maverick of this year, even though Top Gun Maverick is way better than F1.
It's way better than F1.
Yeah.
But yes, if you were to replace either a Best Picture nominee or an international feature with ones you saw, which one would you have either be in the top 9 or be the winner?
It'd probably be a toss-up between Surratt and No Other Choice.
And No Other Choice got no nominees, correct?
No.
Nominations.
Which was kind of shocking because it got nominations everywhere else it could, basically. But for some reason was shut out this year. I definitely wouldn't be upset if it was just an accident was in there.
I liked that one. Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I saw last year that was a foreign film. Those were the big ones.
I agree. Yeah.
From my memory. Supposedly, what's his name? Joachim Trier. Supposedly the one to see is Oslo 31 August 31st.
Yeah, that's his first movie. Or no, I should say his first. That's his first movie with Renate Redden,
Yeah.
her.
Supposedly really good. 90 minutes too. Nice and short.
Ooh, that's easily to be watched. I don't see her name. I thought she was in this. Oh, there. Okay, she's like on the third row, so she's not like the star of this movie.
No. Well, I think 2011 she was probably like pretty young. Like how old is that lady?
She was born in 87. So
she's not that young.
Yeah, she's older than you think she is.
Yeah. She's like 40.
Almost
38.
Yeah, 39. 38, 39.
Yeah, something like that. All right. Do we have anything else to say about Sentimental Value? I feel like we've dogged on it a lot, but
no,
it is good. It's just
it's good. It's just it's not.
There's not much to talk about here.
Yeah. It's see it for the great performances. Like if you just want to see some great people on screen, you want to see some capital A acting, watch it.
Yeah. I know we're wrapping up, but like it kind of reminds me of Marriage Story from a few years ago. But Marriage Story had that one big scene that everybody's going to remember.
Oh, the big fight scene. Yes.
The big fight scene. Sentimental Value, it's a very foreign film. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
Nobody fights like that in this movie. That's like to be cliche, that's how Americans fight.
Right.
And how Norwegians fight is they're just dry to each other.
Yeah, maybe a little sniping here and there.
Right, a little snippy, but like nobody's going to raise their voice or punch a wall. Now, I'm definitely stereotyping. I'm sure there are plenty of fathers in Norway that punch walls and stuff like that. I'm just saying that's my impression of how Norwegians fight, and that's how this movie plays out. Nobody really gets super angry at each other. They're just upset at each other.
It seems like their anger is 30 years old. And at this point, it's just kind of like maybe if this is more like an anthology, you would have seen them screaming at a different point.
Yeah.
But at this point, like they're beyond screaming. It's just disappointment and acceptance that this is how it is.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that like, not weird, but hard to stir up drama when like the biggest fault of the father is just he wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because they even say like he's maybe a hard person to live with, but he's a genius. Like no one denies his genius as a director.
Yeah. He was like absent and cold as a father. And that sucks, but it's not the same as being a wife beater.
Right, yeah.
or something like that. So
this isn't a celebration we're watching. So
yeah, I'm not making excuses for absent fathers or anything. I'm just saying there are degrees to this as far as how bad you should feel for people. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's right. We are fortunate where we don't have not had absent fathers, so it's right. I can't relate to that.
Right, for sure. Okay, sentimental value. What are you going to give it out of 5 stars, letterbox style, Kyle?
I think it's a 3.5.
Also a 3.5 for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, a good movie, despite
it
what
is
we
a
just
good movie,
said about it. Pretty good movie.
We're here to critique and criticize, and that's what we do.
Absolutely. Okay, so 2 3.5s for sentimental value. Check it out at your local Cineplex.
Yes, it's right next door to Project Hail Mary. You'll see sentimental value.
There will be plenty of seats, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, while you're doing that, don't forget there's a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Check that out. Support us on Patreon. Leave us an Apple Podcast review or send us an email, heyguys@cinereelists.com. Links in the description to do any and all of those things if you have not done them yet. You could also follow the podcast on social media on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook at Cinereelists, or you could follow me on my personal Blue Sky or Letterboxd account at YoJRB.
Find me on Letterboxd at Peter SKB.
As we mentioned earlier, we will be back next week with our first kind of tentpole movie of the year, Project Hail Mary, which I have high hopes for, I would say.
I've read the book. I like the book a lot, and I think and I hope that Lord and Miller will do the book justice.
Nice. I hope they do. I mean, the guy who wrote it also wrote The Martian, right? And that's it.
He did, yes.
Those are like his only 2 books, I think.
I believe so. But if he has a third, I will read it because so far he's 2 for 2 for me.
Yeah. And I think The Martian was like best case scenarios as far as book adaptations go, and so I'm hoping they pull that off again with Project Hail Mary.
Oh, he has a book called Artemis that he wrote between The Martian and Project Hail Mary.
Was that a movie too? I recognize that name. Is it about a hotel?
No. I mean, no, it's different. This is a science fiction heist novel. Interesting.
How come this isn't a movie yet?
20th Century Fox acquired the rights to the
adapting
novel.
Lord and Miller say they want to direct it.
Okay. I guess I need to read Artemis next. So I'm down. Sci-fi heist movie that takes place on the moon. Sounds good to me.
Sounds fun. I love moon movies. I'm down. So I guess this guy's just going to write sci-fi for the rest of his life.
I mean, if you're good at something,
I guess lean into it.
Yeah.
Why not? Regardless, your homework for next week is go see Project Hail Mary, and we'll see you guys back here to talk about it in 1 week or so. Until then, keep it cinereal.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.